Back when I was in my early 20s, I remember one evening I was driving around town. It was dark, but just dark. And ahead of me over the road, I saw it was pretty high in the sky. Like, you know how a helicopter, you see it and say the body of the helicopter looks that big, so you can kind of gauge it might be 300 yards away or whatever. That's how this was. I could tell it wasn't that far away, but it wasn't like really close. I would figure it might have been 200 yards up in the sky, but it looked the size of a basketball. And it was following the road, and it was nothing but this orange orb glowing. Wasn't like a fire or anything like that. It was just orange glowing ball, and it was floating very smoothly. It wasn't a balloon. It wasn't any kind of airplane or helicopter or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that, obviously. You'd had to have been there. It was a perfectly round orb, glowing orange. Beautiful orange glow. I followed it down the road, and it actually turned and followed the next road, which was kind of like a main road in our city, but in a rural area, because I lived in a really small town, and I lived right on the edge of town. So I followed it. It was like up, and I was behind it, and I just kind of like followed it. And, like I say, I thought it was maybe 200 yards into the sky and looked to be the size of a basketball from my viewpoint. So, 15 feet, maybe 20 feet, 25 feet. I'm not sure. I followed it all the way to the end of the road where it was a lot of vacant land back then. It was mine pits. They used to mine for phosphate in my county where I lived. So anyway, I watched it, and it went out and stopped. And it was still big, so it wasn't too far away. It was almost like it saw me, because I had to stop at a stop sign, and it went out and stopped. So I got out of my car, and like I say, it was dark, but it wasn't like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. It was probably like, 9 maybe. I watched it. I got out of the car and watched it, and it disappeared just like that. It didn't blink. It didn't go anywhere. It just turned off. It was gone. And like 1 second later, it was way over here on the horizon, some several hundred yards away, and I saw it. Boom, it appeared. There it was again. I looked over there and saw it, and I watched it, and just sat there in the sky. Boom, it disappeared again, and then it was somewhere else, like kind of like between the two areas I had seen it at, and it was out there, and it just, boom, disappeared again. And then that was it. So it disappeared, it reappeared, it disappeared, it reappeared, and it disappeared, and then I didn't see it anymore. I took off, went back the other way, because it felt like it was playing with me, whatever it was. Okay, and this is my question. Do you believe in things from other worlds, like extraterrestrials? I'm a Christian, so it's hard for me to believe in aliens from other planets. Or did the Lord create other universes, other beings, and just didn't feel the need to tell us? Are we that egotistical that we sit back and say, well, the Bible doesn't mention it, so it can't be? Are we just so full of ourselves that we just figure that God would have to tell us that there's other creatures living on other planets and things? I don't know what to believe. Personally, I really don't believe that there are. What if they're demons? Are they demons from other dimensions? A lot of people, even religious leaders, believe that they could be like demons, because, we know we live in a world that's good and evil, and there's always that battle, and we know there's these demons out there, and they get control of powerful people, and those powerful people make these decisions that are like we've seen in the current several years, especially the last 10, 15, 20 years in our country and around the world. Anyway, my question to you is, what do you believe? First of all, are you a Christian, or are you have some other faith? Are you, Hindu, Muslim? Are you a Jew? And if so, what do you believe that these things that people see are? I mean, because, anybody that says, well, it's probably just a balloon, it wasn't a balloon. Obviously, I mean, I could see it wasn't a balloon. It was an object, and it was glowing, had this inner glow, and it's what's a lot of other people have described seeing over the years. I'm not making any claims either way. I'm not saying it was aliens, demons. It could have been a secret U.S. military aircraft that they've just made to look like this big, round, orange, glowing ball to throw people off. I have no idea. No claims. I'm not making any assertions whatsoever, but I am asking you what your opinion is. So what do you think? What do you think these things are? Not necessarily what I saw, but people in general, they say they saw an alien spacecraft or there's beings from other worlds. What do you think? That's my question to you. I pose that question to you. Leave a comment below and let me know, because I'm very interested, because I've seen several of these things in my life. Several. Glowing things, objects in the sky. I have a lot of weird experiences, and I'm going to cover some of those in future episodes. So anyway, like I said, drop me a comment. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and always remember, God is good, and God bless you. Take care, guys.